I'm very excited for this goal. I'm very excited for the opportunity that has been given to me, and yeah, I'm saying thank you to my teammates and also to the fans. Cameroon is a big team, also we respect them, and we're just going to go into the game with everything that we have and expecting them to also give everything that they have. Hopefully we play our part and our game.
Back and forth because there are a lot of people also watching the Malawian game and they're like, oh, yeah, we have to play this, we have to do this. Like, no, we just need to focus on ourselves.
All right, and that's, of course, the players from the Super Falcons of Nigeria, excited, brimming with smiles. You can also hear the coach say that he was not even really focusing on that. He has people giving him, monitoring the game between Malawi and Zambia. But joining us at this time to give us more updates with what's happening right there in Rabat is our own sports correspondent who is currently in Morocco, Onyechi Obaro, joins us this afternoon. Onyechi, good afternoon to you. Welcome to the show.
Thank you so much, Favor.
All right. All smiles. The players are richer with the number of goals scored. Nigeria through to the final. To the quarterfinal, I beg your pardon, of the Women's Africa Cup of Nations. What's the mood like? I mean, a day after they won, what's the mood like? Are the ladies already looking ahead, in that tie against Cameroon? Are they thinking of going all the way now to the final after surviving scared in the group stage?
It's okay if you say that the girls are through to the final because the kind of confidence, the kind of mood that we did, perceive after that win against Egypt showed that they have reignited that charge once again. We saw the Super Falcons that finished 3-2 against Morocco in the final of the Women's African Cup of Nations in 2024. We saw them again at the WAFCON this time around. And also, looking at the fact that they've also got that scoring boot back against a side that conceded 6 against Zambia. In the first half, people had, dwindling thoughts concerning if these girls will be able to put a lot of goals in the net of the Egyptians, because we saw that they dragged them a lot of times and they made them, gave them a run for their money. But they kept pushing on. Second half, a little bit of change here and there we saw. And with that, this victory really showed that they are on track. They do not want to create an upset. They do not want to lose the focus on getting an 11th title this time around in Morocco.
All right, Onyechi Obaro will take a pause to go pay some bills. When we return, we'll continue the conversation. Welcome back. You're still watching In the Game, and this time around, WAFCON update, and Onyechi Obaro is still with us all the way from Morocco. There's still Timothy there involved, so bringing us up to speed with what's happening. Onyechi Obaro, let me come to you now. The job has been done. Getting to the quarterfinal is one thing. Also, let's look at the lineup for the game on Wednesday. Monday Gift was ushered in. We saw Rinsola Babajide, and a lot of persons are saying this might just be the best lineup going into any of these games. I mean, Monday Gift happens to give us something different up front. There's also Rinsola Babajide with the assist. Is it that Coach Justin Madugu has been experimenting up to this time not to have known which players he wants to use going into each of these games?
So it's looking like he's got selection headache. He's got so many wonderful players. It's how to execute them and when to execute them that has been the knot he has not been able to crack. Remember, he brought in Satu Shoala to start against Zambia, and she made the difference, taking that very early opportunity in the game, and that was just the only goal we got in that encounter. He also tried that in the game against Egypt, hoping that Oshuala will be able to take advantage. Yes, the penalty was converted by Oshuala, but he did not see that spice. He did not see that push up front like he would have wanted. So he needed fresh blood to be able to run the Egyptian down, and that's why we saw that little bit of change, taking out Ijami Lucy, bringing the likes of Rinsola, and we could see that she even got the player of the match because of her impact in that game. Monday Gift also proved that her omission in that 2024 squad, it's at Nigeria's loss because she was able to put her name in the score sheet and she was able to prove that you have been missing something in me as a player in this squad. That's why she was able to step up yesterday and also put her name on the score sheet. Then having Joy Omewa, that is just a weapon that Coach Madugo has not been able to utilize with this current squad. Getting her name on the score sheet, yes, she's a natural striker. Every striker is supposed to score goals. But taking an opportunity in that late minute to be able to register your name was something that would come from an intelligent striker that wants to get a starting berth or wants to be in the coach's lineup whenever he wants to make a tactical change. So it was nothing wrong from Justin Madugo. It was just a selection headache. I've got a lot. How do I piece them all together for me to have a splendor, for me to have an avalanche of stars coming up from any encounter we go against any opposition?
All right, Timothy, let me come to you now. Timothy, Nigeria, it was all smiles yesterday, and VAR was put into use so many times in that game, penalty kicks and a lot. But do you think we have what it takes now, this belief, to go all the way to the final and also pick the Women's World Cup ticket?
Yes, obviously. Firstly, Nigeria are the greatest team in Africa, no doubt, undoubtedly. And then no matter what's happened against Malawi, I feel like people maybe at that point overreacted because there was a thin line between criticism and insult. People forgot the fact that most times first game determine what you do going into a tournament. Although we could say that we were lucky yesterday because maybe if we had been that Zambia position, we also found ourselves as well. Yeah, fine and good. We're in the quarterfinal at this point in time. So first, I think it's going to be a tough one. I'm playing against Cameroon. But of course, I don't think there should be a point where we want to play any team at the WAFCON where we should be scared. It doesn't mean we should not respect our opponents. It doesn't mean we should take them granted. It doesn't mean we should underrate them. But being scared of any opponent at the WAFCON, I don't think that time would come when Nigeria should be scared of any opponent at WAFCON. Considering the amount of WAFCON titles they've won, Nigeria have never lost in the group stages. I mean, the list that we have always done in the semi-final. So it's not up for it whether Nigeria will go all the way to pick up the World Cup ticket. I think that Nigeria should go ahead and beat Cameroon. That said, it's not to be easy. And with the pool of players that Justin Madugo is in school, like we had dissected, when you have like players like Isola Babaji, they have the likes of Mondegi. I mean, Okoronkwo did not even feature at all yesterday. There's still some good players, the likes of Jimmy, is still injured. Maybe should be back against Cameroon, or maybe it's still Uchebe and the Owale partnership. I don't know. But there's a whole lot of players that can come into the fray and do what they know how to do. So I feel like Nigeria should get past Cameroon, not easily though, but I think like the spirit, the resilience will always show for Nigeria, and hopefully they'll get it done.
All right, Onyechi Obaro, let's wrap things up at this time. The NFF president, Gusso, you spoke to him. He also talked about, cash and everything. Have the ladies been paid their goal, $5,000 per goal, or it's going to be after the tournament? And what other incentives have the NFF promised the girls or the ladies?
So at this time, after I had that conversation with him, the only thing that made me have, the intuition that money is involved around this was when he talked about the importance for the girls to be able to make it out of this group, the Group C. He said a lot of money has been spent. A lot of sponsors have promised a lot, and they had, a mandate to keep. And we did see that the press conference, we had him talk to the girls, celebrate with the girls. I'm sure a cash incentive has been announced, judging by the kind of celebration we heard in the locker room. Of course, we are perceiving or even looking at the fact that something must have been announced to get them that excited after picking up their quarterfinal ticket. But the conversation with him, he revealed that a lot of money has been spent. So I'm very certain that if you're getting tips or a hunch concerning any cash incentive, we might have to follow up on that to know when we have discussions with the Super Falcons. At the moment right now, they're having in-house activities. Of course, they're going to be recuperating from that game against Egypt. And I'm sure as at the time when we would have a press parley with them, we should be able to ask and then feel their pause concerning what led to the celebration in the locker room after that win against Egypt's favour.
All right, thank you so much, Onyechi Barrow, for your time. We're looking forward to having you again to give us more updates from the Super Falcons of Nigeria and, of course, and everything happening at the Women's African Cup of Nations. Thank you so much for joining. All right, Timothy, I must also say thank you so much for coming on the show. It's quite interesting to have a conversation with you. Looking forward to you joining us again on the show. Thank you so much.